Okay. Okay. Must I mute this app? And where do I click that? Hi everyone, this is Marlene from Art by Marlene, and I'm really excited that Abs invited me to do a live on the AALL Create page. I really appreciate him taking on all my products in this collection, and I have to just see that I mute my, sorry. Now I can hear myself in my ears, so this is a bit weird. Oh, sorry. That's that was a bit flustered for me, but I just muted my. But now I can't hear you, Abs. So that is a problem. So I have to sort this out, and I don't know exactly how. How do I take the sound off my? Okay, I'll just stop the live. Then I can't see myself. That's okay. Then I will probably not be able to see your comments, but I will hear them from Abs in any case. Welcome everyone. I'm really excited. I can see a few, people that I can see. Mariana, and I saw Leonie, Vanessa, Stephanie. Hi there everyone. and I've got some exciting new products to show you. And of course you might have seen them already, but today I'm going to take you through a few of the products that is my favorites, and those are some of the things that I use all of the times, like for example my craft mat. So all of you guys know that I always use a craft mat that I make myself, and I always use white craft sheet for that. And it's been a long time since I could find it, and we sourced it finally, and it's a really nice large size, 60 by 40 centimeters. It's actually even larger than this one. I actually cut a piece off. I will show you. I've cut a little piece even off this one. This is the material that it's made of. It's a non-stick, non-scratch surface. You can just really work with everything on this. I make several different pellets from these. I make the little small pellets which you usually see me work with in my lives, where I put my little paints on and I can just move my little pellet around. And I made a YouTube video on it, so you can know exactly how I use those. And you can also see over here, this is the pellet, and you can just move that paint off of it. You can see it just moves off, it glides off the glue and everything. There's a few notifications that AALL told me that we have to tell you. They've got quite a few specials on for you guys. For example, they've got a 15% discount because introduction discount, because it's the first time for me being live over here. And with the code Marlene15, and that you will get your discount on. There's also that they told me that if you shop, you can fill your carts, and you usually just put the word shop and the next word next to it, whichever product you want to, and it'll automatically fill in your cart and it'll get it in your inbox. And that way you can afterwards see exactly all of the products that you liked, and then you can move around with your products whatever you want. For example, shop Moody. If you write that, you will see that in your product list, and afterwards you can decide on which products you want there. There's also a special promo code, I believe, AALL. I don't know exactly which one that was. Not the Marlene 15, there was another one. But yeah, there was a 20 pound voucher that they were giving out for you guys. So if you want to take a chance on that one, just comment win and share this live with your friends, and then you can make a chance to win that voucher today. So let's see who's in there and who is coming in. I can see quite a few people joining us. I believe on my page is about, yeah, we've got quite a few South Africans joining in. I'm South African by birth, so that is something that I love to always see, all the South Africans joining in there. Well, I'm just going to go through just with a few of the main products that I want to show you in front of the screen. And for the craft sheet that I was just talking about, this one is the order code. I just want to find it. It's ABM25CS01. And that is that large non-streak craft sheet where you can actually make several craft sheets. I like to put it on just like a board or MDF or something like that. I stretch it over, I put some duct tape over the sides, and I've got a perfect, and you will see because I will be working on it today. You've got a perfect surface to work on, non-stick. Your paints don't stick to it. You can just remove it easily, and it's white. You can see all your colors perfectly on there, and that's what I love. Absolutely a perfect item for you to have. So AALL did tell me, show them a few of your favorite products, and I think one of the most underestimated and less loved products that I think should get a lot more attention is my artist sponges. So those of you that don't know my artist sponges, this product is just fabulous. It's not like a makeup sponge. These are made especially, so let me just grab a few of my sponges here. These are made from special material. So when you wet them, I'll show you, these are now the same size. If I wet one and I just put them in a bowl in water and I just press the water out, and just a few times in and out of there, just to make sure that it's got drenched through. You can see the size difference between the two, because this one now becomes really, really soft and really bouncy, so you don't have to put any pressure. So when you do some stenciling, you don't need as much paint, and your paint won't bleed underneath your stencil, because you don't have to put any pressure. You don't press it underneath your stencil. So that's some of those fun things that I think is something that you should know. So this is the ABM SPO01. That's the artist sponges. You actually have 48 sponges in there, and you can reuse them as much as you like. You remember that if you would like the sponges, just put the code shop sponges, or just put the name shop sponges in the comments, and they will automatically fill in your basket. And then at the end, you can have a look at how to finish that and what you would like to keep. I see Diana's in there. Angela, Stephanie, lovely seeing you here and adding them. Awesome to see you again. Yes, lovely. So that is one of the favorites. Now, there is some things that people like more than others. And one of the favorites is definitely these buddies. These are my lovely pencil cases, and I use them for about everything. I do suggest always you put them, I roll them on my IKEA cart. I've got these hooks on my IKEA cart, so they hang onto my IKEA cart from the side. And I've got the one filled with lots of different types of ribbon, because that way I can just pull my ribbon out and see which one I need. And it's large, so your paintbrushes, your rulers, everything will fit in there. And the smaller one I use for my pencils or for my markers. And I've got several different ones, so I keep on using them. It's just fun to have those always with you on the side. So when you go to a crop or to a crafty day with your friends, you can just take your stuff in your pencil cases with you and enjoy those. Of course, I've got loads of different other products, but I think my most important product for me must be my acrylic paints, because the acrylic paints is my colors that I've chosen. I love using as acrylics because I was an acrylic artist before I became a crafter. And I will start with this one, and this is my acrylics favorite set. So it's called the favorite set because it's my favorite colors. It's my black, my white, because that's those little sparks for the contrast. And if you want to fill them into your cart, there is, just put shop favorites and it'll fill into your cart immediately. And there you will see Ballet, Mermaid, Happy and Envy. And those are the colors that I can't go without. So these are definitely the ones that you want to use and love. And I will be using my acrylics today. So if you've got questions about the acrylics, I actually had to put my feed on my Facebook out. I can't see the comments if I mute that, I can't hear Abs in my ear anymore. So if you've got comments, Abs will tell me the comments or questions that you have. And so if you see me just waiting or not speaking, you know that he's talking to me in any case. For you guys that haven't seen my apron yet, I've got this beautiful apron, the Art by Marlene apron. It's made from a waterproof, soft material. And this one, just put shop apron if you want this one. It comes with 3 crafty buttons. One with the Art by Marlene logo heart, one with my logo craftiness is happiness, and of course a color wheel comes with that one. I also love that it has a pocket at the front where when I'm in a crop or when I'm doing my crafting and I'm walking around, I can actually put my phone in there and just take it with me, so I'm not having it lying around on the table everywhere. So that is definitely why I love having my apron all of the time. One other thing, I just saw someone, Lynn said something, and I thought I'll have to mention that too, is definitely, if you have not tried this, I can tell you that if you've tried it, I think you're going to fall in love. And this is the sticky multi-glue. My sticky multi-glue is absolutely fabulous. And I can put my hand on my heart for this. It's a fabulous, fabulous glue. It's 28 milliliters. Only thing is, remember, I keep my glues in little stations like this. Always keep it upside down so there's no air coming in and making it dry out. So if you keep it upside down, just like my paints, it'll always be perfect and ready to use every single time. So what's nice about it, it is non-stick after it's dried, so it doesn't leave that sticky residue anywhere. It dries really, really quickly. It is also not, shiny or discoloring when it's dry. So it's just perfect. Try it and you will definitely see that I'm really telling you the truth. Well, I think I'm ready to start crafting, and I hope a few of you will join me. I've got a good idea of what I'm going to do today, but I hope that there will be a few surprises along the way and we can make something really fantastic together. I will first take you through a little flip through my journal just to show you how I use my products, show you how I use a few of my stamps, and then we're going to start crafting together. Hopefully that'll be okay with you. So I will have to turn the screen around and let me just see if I can get that to stabilize a bit. I hope you can hear me well still. Is the sound still well? Okay, so let's put this to the side, and I'm going to just move this along the way so everyone can see what I'm doing. So first of all, this is the Art by Marlene Spiral Bound Journal. So the Art by Marlene Spiral Bound Journal is actually a journal that is A4 size, and of course you can't take the papers out of this one. It's ABM 25 Journal 19. Of course, when you buy it, you just pull this off, so you only have the journal like that. But this is just like a little information sheet that you have there. It's got 30 sheets of paper. It's 300 GSM mixed media paper, smooth mixed media paper in there. And you will see it's just lots and lots of different papers in there. So here you can see unleash your creativity. Yes. There's been a question about your 15% discount. So for those of you that asked if the discount goes on top of your discounts that you have already, yes, the answer is yes to that. You actually get that as an extra from AALL Create. How fabulous is that? So let's show you. I think this is what we're going to make today, but something like this. It won't be exactly the same, but something along this lines, making a little of a flip page. And I think I'll be using these ladies as well. These are from my cut and paste blocks. These are new, and the cut and paste block ABM 25 DPP 309. Remember, just shop Color Addict. You can write that down, and then you can actually put it into your cart. It is filled with loads and loads and loads of different designs. All the designs you will receive twice. And all of those is to cut out yourself. So this is different to my collage books. My collage books has got a really, really thin 75 GSM paper, which is really, really thin, and it's not that handy to fuzzy cut. This is 100 GSM paper, which is much easier to handle when fuzzy cutting, and that it makes it ideal for a cut and paste block. And then of course you also have my paper pads, these ones, what do you call it, the Paper Element book, and these has 170 GSM, and those are the press out books. You can can see they are just a press out. So there you don't have to do any fuzzy cutting at all. For those of us that feels a bit lazy or just don't have the time to do all the prep. This is one of those new stencils of my little castle, my fairy castle. So that is one that I've used there, and here I've used the Starry Night one. Here you can see more of that collage papers that I've used in there. These are the new stencils that you can find over there. Of course, I've used the artist sponges to stencil this. These are actually from these fabulous paper elements, the luxury paper elements, the Quotelicious. So if you use them, they are really ready to just use. It's not a sticker, these ones, because these are especially for those people that also want to put a bit of height into their work and maybe put some 3D tape behind them. So when you buy the bundle, and I believe it's the Quotelicious and the book, the collage book or the paper elements book. So if you buy these two together, you will actually get a pack of tags, pre-printed beautiful tags. I was looking for a sample. Unfortunately, I don't have any with me, but the pre-printed tags are beautiful and ready to use. So those you will actually get as a gift together with these, and you have your discount. So how wonderful is that? I just think it's amazing that they give you all of those. Just a tip for you guys, if you buy something like this, I usually store mine in a little pocket like this, where you will actually be able just to take it out, and just to take out whatever you want to use. You can grab them and just easily put them away again. So that's just a little tip from me for you to use. These are all with the stencils, of course. This is with my stamps, and I really want to give a bit of attention and love to my stamps. So first of all, you will see how I've used this one over here. And I always say this is my happy sun. This is my neutral sun. This is my sad sun. And then this one is my little moon face. And this is on the Sweet Dream set on there. And I've actually just combined them all together. And all these little elements that I've used in the background there are from the Bird's Mansion set. So I've used the little birds in there. I've actually used the little bird cage in there. So it's just actually adding all of those different elements together and just playing around. And here in the background, you can see I filled it up with all the different textures. So those are the different stamp sets, the lovely textures, A Bird's Mansion, Sweet Dreams, and Sunshine Baby. There we have another one. This is all with the Bird's Mansion. And of course here you can see that, and that is definitely with a cut and paste block. Then I've got this one where you can see that I've only used that, and then I've used one of these stamps from Sweet Dreams in the background, and it just gives you, and these little stars are there, and a quote from the Quotelicious. So the combination of everything makes it fun to use. For example, my little mouse going to the moon. And then just repeat this in different areas, and to just connect them all together, I've made these. So you can use these different stars just as fillers in between, just to make them fit together and the open spaces in between. So yeah, that is really what I have for you, just to show you a couple of works of how I work and how I play. These are from the January collection. I've had these beautiful hand printed papers where you've got it all in different colors. So I've tore all of these pages, and I've put the torn pages all behind there. And this is from the collage block, the cut and paste block. I've added these on top of there, so you can see how easy you can create all these lovely artworks. So let's put this aside I have to keep this one because I'm going to use that one definitely. And grab this. And then let's start crafting. So I'm going to open my page and I'm going to start over here. And first things first, the stamp that I'm going to use is the Ornament Trio. So it's stamp 819. And you've got 3 rubber stamps in that set. And that Ornament Trio. So what I like to do is I like to start off with a ruler. So, oops, I just want to grab a ruler over there. And then I'm going to grab the Art by Marlene Duo acrylic markers. You've got a black and a white side. And I'm just going to draw a line wherever I think it is appropriate. And I'm going to draw a line and I'm going to move it a bit backwards. And I'm going to draw another line. And this is just to give myself a baseline from where I'm going to work from. I know now that this is going to be the area that I'm going to fill. And my markers are wonderful. They're really soft and very juicy. If you feel that they become a bit drier, just give them a good shake. That usually works really well. What's wonderful about my markers is because we chose to have 2 colors in one marker. Usually when you've got brush tip markers, you always ruin the tip of the marker before you finish the ink in the marker. And with mine, that is not the case because we only have a half a barrel of paint in each side. You've got 2 tips in one marker, and that gives you a lot less wear on each tip. So you can actually now finish the ink and then you finish the tip. So let's grab an acrylic block that we want to need. Let's grab an acrylic block and I'm going to use this one and just put that on my acrylic block. And I like the acrylic blocks that Studio Light has because it's got a little line on them. So any acrylic block with a line, it just gives you an idea how to line it up. And I'm going to use a VersaFine ink. But if you're already working on an acrylic paint or something, you can rather use something like a Ranger's ink, the Archival, or a StazOn ink. So I'm going to start off and do it in the middle. So I'm going to line the bottom of my stamp, the white side, up and just put my stamp down. And I usually like to just wiggle it around and don't just press and pull. You have to always give your inks time to pull into your paper. That way it's just to get a prettier impression. So there we are. And what I'm going to do is, let's see. Yes, I'm going to actually overlap that scallop onto one another. And just press it down, because that way it's just an easier cut for me. Deep cuts does not really work really well if you're doing this on these pages, certainly not live. So let's do this one. And then once again, just wiggle it a bit, so certain that it moves in all the other places, and then you can remove it. So you can use a baby white or whatever you like to clean your stamps off. I sometimes just like to use a dry cloth, but for the live purpose, I'll just grab a baby wipe and just remove this from there and put this aside for now. Oops, there we are. So let's put that one aside for now. First things first, I would like to put color on the back side of this later on. I'm not going to do it now, but when you do this at home, and you want to put color there, I do suggest you first paint the background here and then cut it out, so you don't have to worry about the paint coming onto the front of this. So when you actually start cutting this, I like to start cutting from here and move in there, and this just gets cut as one round shape. So you don't have to be really fiddly about this, because if you're going to be really fiddly about this, it's going to take you ages and you probably won't even notice it when you're finished. Because what I usually do is I use a black pen or marker and I just give it an extra line so it looks like it should be that way. Fuzzy cutting is not the most interesting thing to watch. I'm going to just put this. I'm not a really fuzzy cutting person, but I do like cut out pages. So usually I would do anything to not have to fuzzy cut, although I'm a lazy crafter, so not all of you are lazy crafters. I usually say that even if you follow workshops that I teach, nothing that I do is difficult, because it should be easy for me to do it. And so if it's difficult, it's not mine. I like to do a lot of different steps that is easy but gives a dramatic result. I'm just trying to figure out how to cut this on during a live without you just watching my arms. So, have any of you, oh, see, this is what happens. I'm just going to quickly, when you use VersaFine ink, it usually helps if you just heat set it, because otherwise you'll get that. It doesn't really matter now because I am going to paint over that. But before I ruin the whole thing, it does help to just heat set your ink to make sure you don't move it around all of the places. How many of you have actually worked with acrylic paints and stamping together, or do you usually choose watercolors when doing stamping, or distress inks? What do you actually use? Abs, you will have to tell me the answer to that. Oh, Ab says he uses VersaFine as well. I like it because it's really black. Yeah. Oh, Lynn, have you just actually fuzzy cutted all of the pages in the newest book? I have to say, I'm going to show you quickly in between what I do sometimes when I think, oh, I don't want to craft now, but I do have some time. What I do is I do take some of these images out and I just fuzzy cut them. And you can see, because it's a nice weight paper, you can actually do that. You can actually just move and just remove that. And I just keep them in these little boxes just to make life easier for myself. So when I'm actually feeling in the mood to actually start work, I don't have to then start actually fuzzy cutting, because that is a bit of a no-no. I just heard from Abs that if you want the collage book, he has them in stock. He actually ordered our last stock of those because those are actually finished. We don't have them anymore. So he actually ordered all of the last stock of them, and he says it's flying off. So if you want it, just make sure you order it quickly, because otherwise you won't have it. That is definitely, I can't believe that it went so quickly. All of the stock that we have at Studio Light is actually now finished. he was our last order today. I told him they actually almost finished, and he said, "Oh no, I'll order them." Naughty boy. Very naughty, Abs. So yeah, I know. And I heard from Abs that a lot of people are actually, because the AALL Create base customers already combined Art by Marlene products a lot with the AALL Create products, it's nice to have the combination of the two product lines together. So even if you have AALL Create products, you can mix them with the Art by Marlene and vice versa. And we don't mind, because he's my friend. I don't mind that. I don't like it with everyone, but I don't mind Abs, because we've been friends for many years. Every single year we see each other at the show in Germany. Sometimes I see him in Nijkerk in the Netherlands, except this year. I just want to pull some ink off that black line, because that's not drying, because it's acrylic. But that's my fuzzy cutting done and dusted, so you can see that page is already done and dusted. So what I want to do is I want to fill this with some paints. I want to add some really, really colorful paint in there. So the way that I work is I actually use these palettes. So I didn't clean the palette because I wanted to show you how you clean your palette. I did pull some paint off with my finger early on camera, but you can actually just with your finger do this, or with a cloth you can remove it with it. This is just a dry cloth. So okay, so that is how you clean it. It's just easy as that. So there's someone that asked, where did you get the palette from? If you maybe missed the first part of the video, this is actually the white craft sheet, the Art by Marlene white craft sheet. If you want to see how to make one of these palettes from this, just go to Art by Marlene YouTube, and you will just push craft sheet in there, and you will immediately see the page how I made this. And I have them in several different sizes. And because it's a semi-translucent material that it's made of, you can actually choose to put black and white paper or something like that underneath it. If you want a pattern to show through, you can. I don't prefer that personally, because I just want a white surface to see my colors really, really well, and to see how I want to use them. So I'm going to put my paints down. Oops, yes, Abs. Ab. Okay, sorry, I just have my book fell down, so I just have to grab my book. Things like that happen. For those of you, I heard that someone wants the whole collection. I believe Lisa. And Lisa, if you want to shop the complete collection, just press, what did you say, Abs? Full collection, April full collection? Shop April complete. Oh, you have to write shop April complete, and that way it'll fill into your basket immediately. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to put a few paints down that I'm going to use. So first of all, I'm going to put Funky, which is part of my neon set. Then I'm going to add Ho Ho Ho, which is part of my Moody set, but you can, of course, all of the different colors. You also have Kissy, which is pinkish red. You can see that one. That's from the Intense set. And then you can see I'm going to use my reddish pinkish tones, and I'm going to use Ballet, which is, of course, in that favorite set. This is all in different sets. So this one is Funky, and this is actually from my neon set. The red, which is Ho Ho Ho, is from the Moody set. Kissy, which is a pinkish red, is actually from my Intense set. And Ballet is from my my favorite set. So I've got all the different colors, and I'm going to go into the calms as well, because one of my favorite colors to tone this all down is called Peony. And Peony is just that nice color that's calm, and it's in the calm set. And that way you've got loads of different colors in there to play around with. So I'm going to grab a paintbrush. So I did get the brush set out here somewhere for you. Yeah, here it is to show you. This is the Art by Marlene paintbrushes. This is the filbert brushes. And you get 3 different sizes in the filbert. You've got the angular and you've got the flat brushes. But this is the Art by Marlene. You've got a size 20, a size 18, and a size 12. And let's take the size 18. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dilute this down. And I'm just going to go in with that Ho Ho Ho. Then I'm going to go, and I'm going to go into that Funky. And I want to see the paint stroke. So my idea is not to have a smooth surface and a very blendy surface here. I want to see those paint strokes because I'm using paint. When I'm using watercolors, it's different. Then I wanted to go for a different look. But when I use acrylics, I kind of like to see the strokes, and I like to see that we're working with paints. When you're scared of having paint onto your next page, feel welcome to just add. You can use anything. You can use your craft sheet in between there if you want to, or you can just use a piece of printer paper. I just ignore it and I just paint over everything. So I don't really worry about that. But if you are worried, it's not a bad thing to be worried. It's just I'm not. If I was scared that I will ruin something on the other side, I might be. So you can see, I like the way that this looks, where you have a painterly effect, where you've got different tones of color, a bit of a tone-on-tone look. I brighten it up with the pink, with that funky, and I add a bit of kissy over here, and then I add a bit of peony, and I add a bit of ballet. That way you really create a fun mixture of colors, and it makes it playful. It is not just a flat surface that you have there. So there we are. So that is my first layer of color that I've added there. So let's give it a quick dry. Otherwise we'll have to wait for hours. And what I like to do now is, because this palette, if I put my paints directly on here, I'm always scared that I move my book into my paints. With this, I just put it aside. I can just put it onto the side without me being scared of having it, getting it everywhere, which I usually do if I have it next to me. I move everything into it. But you will see my paints dry really quickly, and they dry really matte, but still with that very nice sheen. So for the coats for the brushes, Abs is just going to find them, and then we'll put them on screen in a moment. I've got 3 different sets of brushes. I can give you the code for this, or I can tell you which one this is. They're on the screen already. I've got the filbert ones, I've got the angular ones. So for the filbert, this is this one. That is the one with the, we call it, in Dutch, we call it a kattetong, which is a cat's tongue, that round shape. And that way, if you use like a floral or a round surface, you can easily go around that round flat surfaces. But when you want to use a big brush and you want to go into a corner, you can use the angular brush, because you can go into a sharp corner with it. Can you see that? So that is just a really easy fix with that one. And then of course a flat brush It's just really easy to use always. So we've got all the different ones to use, and all of them have a different purpose. And all mine has this acrylic backing. And so if you want to use your rub-ons and everything, I use these to actually do the rub-ons. I use them as a, what do you call this? A roll pen. Abs, you will have to help me. What do you call it when you have to make a line and you have to use something sharp to create a fold line? A folding bone or something? Yeah. So that's what I use this as for. So that's just a perfect tool for crafting, really. And I've always chosen for acrylic handles because I sometimes, or most of the time, forget my paintbrushes in my water. So if you've got it with wood, the wood actually swells up and your paint starts bubbling off the back of it. So that's why I have all these acrylic stems on them. So this is totally dry, and let's go in and play around with that. So what I like to do is I like to add some stenciling. So let's do some tone on tone stenciling. So don't make it really difficult. So we can go for stars, or let's do this one. This is from my latest collection. I like the little border that it also has, because the border you can use separately from the rest of the stencil. But with this one you can either use, yeah, you can also, yeah, bone fold or scoring bone. Yeah, that's great. That's exactly what it is. Let me just put this. Can you see that I just put a light layer of paint over there, the peony, and I put my stencil down, and I just actually, I'm removing paint from the stencil on the other side. I can see there's a bright orange coming through. You can see who doesn't clean her stencils. That's me. So if I take it closer to the camera, I think you can see it kind of gives you like a ghosting effect. It's not in your face, it's not totally busy, but it gives you a nice way just to see it. What I like to do is also, I'm just going to add a bit of white, which is my lace. That's also in the favorite set. I'll add a bit of that white. And I'm getting a bit of a layered look this way. And like that, it looks really weird. And that's okay. Don't be scared of things not looking nice. A lot of people has that they are scared when things is. So can you see, it just gives you a nice flowy effect without being totally in your face. So if you think, oh, that's a bit too much for me, you can go back with a baby wipe and dab it. Just dab it with the back or clean side, and you just muscle it out so it's not too much, because sometimes you don't want that hard lines. Let's put a bit of red with that. So I'm just putting a tone of red on there towards the red color. Putting my stencil over there. I don't want everything to be in your face. For you to be able to see things pop, you sometimes need that softness, that flowiness, just somewhere in your page. So when you put an accent like this, your eyes go here, and it just doesn't subtract from the busyness that the rest is going to be. So that is really what we're trying to create here. So if you want to know the method of my madness, that's about all about what I can teach you. Let's go into there. Can you see? So now we've got a bit of that stenciling. So that is a subtractive stenciling. That means taking away from what was already there, because we're putting paint on and we actually rubbing the paint off. And now we're going and we're going to do normal stenciling. So I'm going to take that sponge that you saw me wetting it, the artist sponge that I told you from the very beginning. That is the artist sponges. You have to wet them beforehand. Don't use them dry. Wet them and just press out all of the water. Then you've got a perfect way to use them. And then you put that down. And I'm going to first use a bit of that peony with white, and I'm going to go in at the bottom here, and I'm going to do a bit of, so there you can see the sponges, how they work, and you can see it's a really soft look that it gives you when you do your stenciling with the sponges. And when you want to fill in that little area there, you can put it just want to move it to there, and maybe I'm going to put one like this so I don't have to go over my black. So there we are, and now I'm going to go in with a red. So for the sponges, half of the stock is gone. So if you wanted the sponges, Abs just told me, please just mention that half of them are already gone. So the sponges are, yeah, definitely my favorite thing to use because it's just so easy. A lot of times when I have a larger surface to paint, I will show you how I do that in a second. I also use that to add paint with because it's just easy and not a hassle. And I told you I'm a lazy crafter. I don't want hassle, I want ease and make it easy for myself. I'm going to put a bit more paint out. I'm just going to move this so you can see what I'm doing. So just a little bit of paint. So with my paints, you can just use a little piece of paint, or a little bit of paint piece at a time. So I'm going to just dab on, dab off, make sure. And I'm actually mixing it into that. So it's not going to be a white because I've got that red in there too. But that's okay. I'm just adding that just to give that ghosting effect. And there we are. So I'm going to leave it for now, this page. I'm going to just leave that, and I'm going to add to this page. I'm going to add a beautiful page, and you will see how that's going to work out, and how that I'm going to combine these two pages together, but you'll see how I'll do it in a second. So for this I will need more paints, so I'm going to go for the color combination that I already have. So because my paints dry easily, I don't put lots of paint out all of the time. I rather put extra paints out later on, but you don't need to put all the paints out immediately. So let's just grab some peony. I love the sound of that. And ballet. And thank you for, I'm glad that you like the color choices. Of course, you can do the same thing. For example, I can just quickly show you. You can go in with the punk, the lavender, fuchsia, and royal, which is all different tones and colors of purple, and the one is a bit more brighter and the one is a bit softer, but it just gives you that all amazing look together that you can just combine them all together. Okay, so for this, let's start and let's add paint to this. So because I don't want to take the whole day, I'm going to just go in and I'm going to move it around, and you can see stripes of paint moving in there. Don't worry, I just like to do it like that because I don't mind seeing the different colors of paints in between one another. Is your most hated color purple, Abs? Oh, seriously? I actually always hated purple, and I'm actually starting to really like it. I don't know. It started last year with that I started loving lilac, and then suddenly it just all went from there. It's like that, what do you call it, cornflower, or no, what is it, the flower called? It's like a bluish purpley lilac-y color, soft, and that just goes really, really well with my color palette now. So let's see if we can brighten up that top bit. But can you see how easy it is to just add paint with a sponge? How easy is that? And it's almost immediately dry. So especially when making backgrounds and everything, this is just ideal to just add the colors to your background. So I know that I really want to go with, let's see, with these ones, with the mixed media art journaling collage paper, the Color Addict. So I know that I'm gonna, this will also work really great on there. And the little owls will also work really great. But I already cut some of these out, and I think I'm going to use some of them and combine them with what else? I might combine them with a bit of this. So I'm going to first put my paintbrush aside. You can throw your sponge in a bowl of water to the side. I just always keep a bowl of water. You can throw it in there. So once you finish crafting, or the next day, you can just hold it under your sink and just take the excess paints off of there. And they are ready to use again. They might discolor, but that doesn't really take away from the working of them. So that's not a problem whatsoever. So let's grab those things that are already fuzzy cutted out, because I couldn't do that to you, that I'm going to take another hour and fuzzy cut. So let's see, maybe have these two. And I also fuzzy cutted these wings, so I thought I might be able to use these wings behind that. That'll be nice. But I also have my Paper Elements book, of course. And in my Paper Elements book, there's so many elements that you can really, really use in there. So you can see these already. I wanted to use that, and then I decided not to. So let's see with this. Not the scissors. I'm not going to use the ladybug. So this one is my extra big. So I've got my Golden Oldie books, but this is a Paper Elements extra big elements book. So this one is made especially to have the bigger elements. Next year, I believe, we will be making one that will have a few of these things repeated in a smaller size for people that's more card makers than journalists. But if you're a mixed media artist or a journaler, these are always fun just to have these elements that's just a bigger. Let's see what I want to use. Maybe I can add a balloon to there. Let's think, guys. I'll just flip through it with you. These are my Easter eggs. This is one of my, this is a very popular book for us, this one. And it took me ages to create this book. It took me probably the whole of last year, because every single design is hand painted. And I actually decided, because I didn't know how I wanted to combine them all, I actually fuzzy cutted every single design before we created them. It was terrible. I had a little film that I put on, that I actually put on my table, a whole table full of these elements. So maybe I can use some of these wings. I think I like the yellow that will pop from the page. Let's see if that'll work. So yeah, I think that'll work, because that'll really, let me see if I show you that. I think I like that it'll pop from the page. And I think I will actually use this little heart at the bottom. It's like a little yellow heart, and put that on her dress. Kind of like the idea of that. So when I want to turn my page, I actually want another one there. So I thought of putting maybe a girl. So maybe I have to put this more to that side, so we can actually see her peeping behind there. So you really have to think your pages through. Don't just do it like the way I do it, but think your pages through a bit. Not beforehand, but as you're doing it, think, how do you want to put them down? You can actually take a bit off the bottom of her to make her a bit shorter, so she actually doesn't get into her eye, that part. That is just a bit nicer, I think. And if I put this little lady down here, I can also maybe just decide on putting one like this, because she's a bit too much the same as that one. So I might be able to just find a dress for this one. So let's go on. So this is all wings. More wings. Oh, here's a little party hat. That's cute. We can put the party hat with her. Let's put a party hat on. And then we'll have to find somewhere. We will have to find her dress. Or I'll have to go onto an older book. I do like these little flowers to add maybe to her. I don't always know exactly what I'm doing. I just make it look like it. But for most of the time I'm winging it, and it really works well. So let's try and see if something like this, or maybe rather a yellow one, will work. I think a double layer of that will work at the bottom here. So I'll figure that one out as soon as I stick it down. Here we've got all of these little ephemera. I've got this. I've got the little houses. But I just want to see, where's the dresses? I don't have any dresses in this one. Oh, here's some dresses. Come on. There we are. Got the dresses. So let's see. That's also nice to use. But we can use either this one or this one. I can actually use that. I think that'll work. I think that'll probably work well enough. And I'll just leave it like that. There's nothing else that I think that I want to use in the book. Just always I flip through it afterwards. I might want to use her legs, this one. Let's just cut off her legs, because I might want to use her legs on this one. Yeah. Oh, I usually cut them apart. So put the legs there. I don't have arms for her, so maybe we'll even have to use the arms. Okay, well, let's just grab her arms too. Just grab her from that whole thing, and then we're finished with this. Put this one aside, and that is the Paper Elements Extra Big Book with loads and loads. It's got 70 pages in total, so it's 35 different designs, and all repeated twice in that book. So please don't buy it, because then you won't need to buy any books anymore. That will just be terrible. No, you should buy, because it is a wonderful buy, because it gives you so much for your money, so much value. The sticky glue is great. I have to say, it's one of my products that's a really, really weird arm. Can you see that, guys? Very short arm. She's very short-armed now. So we'll have to give that a rethink. I can do that. I can rethink that. That's not a problem. See, we put this arm in here. That'll be okay. The legs will be okay, but that arm is just a bad one. So let's just make a sleeve from this, I think. So let's put that underneath there, like something like that. No, that's too long, so we'll have to make it shorter, something like that. Yes, I think that'll work. So I figured that one out. Okay, so let's start putting things down and then making it a nice page, because you can't just stick things down and think that's finished, because that's when it actually starts. You really want to make it a page that is interactive, that people like to use, and that you like to see yourself. So let's go with this. So we're going to first go with these two at the bottom, and I'm going to just put a row of sticky glue, or a line of sticky glue down there. So let's put that up to there, and then we use our scissors to cut it down to size. We throw the excess away, and then we just with sticky glue we put this down again. Sometimes it's easier for me to just use matte medium. Sometimes I just put some matte medium flat on here. I smooth it out, and I just actually put a whole thing like this on there and just wipe it through the matte medium and then stick it down. It works really well as well. So it's just depending on what you're doing the day that will work best for you. So never just keep to one method. Use the method that works for you on that day. Okay, let's just let me put that down. Okay, that's better, isn't it? Otherwise it was going to be really, really weird. And as you can see, I'm not... Sorry? Oh, I just heard from Abs that the glue is really, really going. So that's single figures now. So there's not a lot of them left. So you can see she's got a bit of a weird on, but hey, she's just, let's maybe just move that one along here. Take the top off there. Otherwise she's really weird. I don't want her to look really weird. Just funky and quirky, but not weird. I'm all about having fun with my art, and you shouldn't take it too seriously. There we are. See, that's fun. But having something that looks like it's Dracula is not totally my thing. So, did you guys watch the Eurovision Song Festival? Last night? Because we had a song festival content. He's French speaking, he's from Congo. Originally he came here as an asylum seeker. So he had a song that was in French and in Dutch. I didn't think it was always it didn't sound the same as when he sings usually live. He was very nervous because there was such a lot of things going on, but I thought he did really great. Okay, so that's one little page. So just the base for that. And that's going to be the next one. So I know that I told you that I'm going to have to just slightly move this one down a bit, just so I don't have her getting something in her eye. So I just fold the ephemera over to where I need to cut it down, so I know where I need to. This one is almost finished. I think that Studio Light actually thinks that I'm eating the sticky glue because I'm going through sticky glue like mad. It's just, I just far prefer this from any other thing, just to, it's so easy. And it's so quickly, and it just sticks, and it's just perfect. And even when it comes from the sides, it's not a problem. So that makes it so much easier. I don't want difficult. I don't do difficult. Maybe I should just take my time and just grab a new one. I mean, I have been living in Holland, so they usually say that the Dutch is really stingy. So maybe it's that rubbing off on me. That I want to finish every single last drop of it. My husband bought me a book called The Undutchables, and there was all these things that was written in there about what the way that other nationalities and countries actually sees the Dutch. And it's really funny because half of them were really, really true. The others were also true, but some of them were like very spot on. So here you can also, if you want to, you can move the wings a bit up. You can even put some all-by glue. I don't know if you know all-by glue. It's like a silicone glue, and it dries dimensional and clear. So if you would put that under the wings, you won't see it. It's not like when you use 3D tape. Let's put that in her hair there. And I've got another flower. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with it, but I have put glue on it. So I'm going to do something with it. Maybe put this one on the flower just to connect the two of them. But so we've got that already done and dusted. So on this page, I really want to do some stamping, and I'm going to use some background stamps. So I'm going to just move, I just want to move some stuff from my desk because I can't be really messy. That's one of my handicaps, that as soon as it gets really messy, I have to clean. I can't just let it be. I get brain freeze then. So let's put the paint to the side, and let's grab the stamp sets that I was going to use. So I think this one and this one is definitely part of the package. So let's grab those, and I'm going to go in and let's see, I've got a few colors that we can work with. Let's see, more and more and more. Oh, I can't get it from So I've got a lot of different color inks here, so I'll just see, I'll tell you if I use something, but I'll just use a colored ink, any colored inks. But because I'm working on acrylic, I do prefer working with something that is a bit more permanent. So I'm going to first go in and just go in with the fuchsia Stays On ink. And I just actually leave it on that backing sheet that it comes with. So I'll give you a tip how to use your stamps and how to make it easy for yourself. So here you can see how nice that is, isn't it? So when I have my stamps, you can see this is the one clear sheet that you get. You usually get 2 clear sheets with every stamp set. So I use double-sided tape, and I put 1 clear sheet on my backing board. And then the other clear sheet I just put on top of there, and then I just put them in a little baggie. So when I take my stamps out, it makes it easier. This is a new one, so because I have to officially show them still. I haven't done it with these, but if you see all my older stamp sets, they're all like that. And sometimes I even use double-sided broad tape, see-through tape, transparent tape, and I put it on the side so you can make it a flip through. So you just turn it around, flip it over, and you use it like that. But I stopped doing that because sometimes I want to see where I'm stamping, and if you've got that stuck together, you can't see where you are stamping onto. So that is the information of how there's method to my madness. So let's go and put this one over here. And you can see I've had, yes, the gibberish stamp set is one of those stamp sets that you can always use. And you can use it in such different ways, and you don't always recognize it. And you don't even see it in the backgrounds always. But it's just something that is just there and just makes a page playful. So because you don't really see it on this page, I'm not going to repeat it at the moment at the front. So, and who's in from the Netherlands, Abs? Huisman. I think that's good. Hi there. So Abs is reading the comments and everything to me in my ear. This poor bloke is going to be naked at the end of the day, having to listen to me the whole life. So let's go for this one. This must be one of my favorites at the moment. Oh, this is just one of those that it's just really working for me. Sometimes you have the stamp that really works for you, really feels the way that you like something at the moment. So let's put some blue stamping ink on there. So let's go in. Oh, have fun with it, Kathy. Is it Kathy that bought it? Yeah, have fun with it, Kathy. Let's just grab this and clean this off. So I don't know how dry this is, so I might want to just, I have here a sheet of paper that I've tore out of another book. So I'm just going to, while waiting, just to make sure that that is drying the way that I want it to. Oh, nice, Angela. Glad to hear that you are crafting along with us. I actually have a promo team member in the UK. She joined us in April, beginning of April. So let's just close this one. And then I'm going to grab... Let's see here, do I have enough of that on there? Maybe one more. Just cleaned it, but now I decided I want another little bit, just so it falls into that sides there. So I'm going to clean this off a bit, put it to the side, and let's go in with this one. This is a bit of a backgroundish stamp, and it's a nice tone on tone stamp if you want to just do a bit of shading or a bit of something happening, but you can really go over other stamps with it. So let's put that there, and let's do this on this side too. So do a bit of stamping, because the stamping, and especially the stamp set, is something, the lovely textures, is just someone of them that you use more than others. Weird that you sometimes have that some grabs your attention more than other ones, or they just combine really well, especially when you use like the moon faces, and makes it lots of fun. So I'm going to use this one. It's also from the Lovely Texture stamp set, and I like the way that this one in black, I'm just going to put it onto the side so you can really go and turn it upside down sometimes, so you don't have the short end on all the same sides the whole time. And in a moment I will show you, when you're making a busy background, how do you tone it down, because maybe you think that I'm going to leave it like this, but nothing less is true. This will be too busy for me to leave it like that. I like busy, but I liked controlled busy. So you make a mess, and then you say, okay, which part of the mess do I like, and that you keep. And the rest you just kind of play with. So let's put a bit of a crisscross in there, like a cross hatching. And put this one to the other side. I'm going to do a bit of cross hatching here too. Oops, almost killed her by putting that over her face. Okay. Huh? I almost killed her. Oh no, I didn't know. I didn't hear that. I didn't say that. I didn't say abs would be naked. No, that would be really weird. But you didn't hear that either, did you? You're pulling your leg. And why? Okay, so now I've got the paints in there, and I've done that background. So what I like to do now is I'm going to go in with my white paint, and I'm going to push something back. So I'm going to go into that corner, and I'm going to really go in there, and I'm going to push that part. This is the flat one. This is the flat brush that I'm using. And this is the number 12, I believe, this size. Okay, if you want the sticky glue, be quick. Ab says that he has 3 more left. 3, but if you've ordered it, buy all 3, because yeah, I really use a lot of it. I don't know about other people, but I use lots of sticky glue. I can't just use a bit of sticky glue. I don't know how people do that. So let's go in here. And now I'm going to just grab that piece of paper, and I'm going to just put the piece of paper alongside there. And just dry brush a bit over it. Just move that. Don't want that on there. So there you can see I just put a bit of, I just calm it down a bit. Just at the top and the bottom. I just do 1 layer. Once the first layer is down, I'll go back, and in the corner I start off with the second layer, and I gradiate it just a bit more to that side, and then I'll just grab, let's see, maybe grab another stencil. And this one is the star stencil from my latest release. And just pull that in there. So you don't want that really busy shining through, so I'll just do a second layer. And over here too. So this one is, the background is too light, so you don't really see it here. So because you don't see it here with the negative stenciling, I will have to go in with a sponge. I just want to grab my sponge and I'll just do stenciling on top of it, because I want to see some stars there, because the negative stenciling doesn't show up enough. And I want to see something there. Sometimes you just feel that you want it. So then there we are. And when you want to brighten something up, you can just, I'm just going to clean my brush and I want to show you. For example, I want to brighten up this part. So then I can take Wow, for example, which is one of my neons. My neons are translucent. So the translucents are great for brightening up something that you don't want to paint over, but you want to give it a brighter tone. Yeah, that's from the neon set. And you don't really see a color, but what it gives you is a glazing, which makes it more vibrant to this side of the page than it will be there. And that is what you want. You just want that vibrancy coming through. So I'm going to put a bit of that on there too, just to make it a bit more vibrant. And I'm going to put that onto the little hat too. It's going to give it like a yellowish glow. I'm going to do one layer, and I like to layer my colors. I don't want to give it one go thick layer, cover it. I want to see how much I want to add, so I add a bit, then I go back, summery glow that it has. Can you see that? So if you have my pencil cases, you can put all of these brushes into one pencil case. They really work really well together. That is something. So we can see that works already. That works a lot better because you've got that, just a bit of that glow on the one side. I like to do that. So let's give this a quick dry on this side. You don't want it to get stuck onto your page with wet paint, because we're working on two pages together. Because my paints dry so quickly, I can actually work on different pages all of the time. It's not always possible because not all paints you can do that. So now I'm going to mix that white with that yellowish one, just to make it a glowy effect from the start, just to show you the different ways of using it. I hope that I'm still really well on screen for you, so you can see what I'm doing well. So let's do that from the bottom to the top, and then grab that stencil once again and let's rub it. Rub. So I'm going to do positive and negative stenciling here. Oops. I always try to make really stable stencils. I'd rather not make a stencil if it's not stable, and by stable I mean is that it's every way it is, it doesn't fold on over really quickly. I've through the years learned my lesson with it, that it doesn't really always work. I've put a bit too much paint now through it, so it might be not pretty. So when you have that, I don't like that. I'll just rub it off. Because my underlayer is dry, I can still do that. So I just erase that and I start over. Easy as pie. So just make sure you dab it off. So there's little dots and little areas that you want to add to it. There we are. So that gives you a nice effect from the bottom. So let's do from the top. Let's see what we're going to do there. We have to figure something out for that too, because now this is like that, but I still want something to happen at the top there, because otherwise it's going to be boring, I think. My personal opinion. So let's go in and take Abs's favorite, all-time favorite color, and we'll take the pink. He hates it. We'll take some pink and we'll take some Smurf. And I will also use a dash of Heaven, which is a soft blue. And then let's grab a paintbrush. And now first, if you still have that yellow on your paintbrush, make sure you take it off, because if you mix yellow and purple, it's brown all day long, because they're opposites from one another on the color wheel, and it's just not a good look. So let's put that. Can you see that purple? So I'm first putting the glaze over. The pink is a neon. So all of my neons are actually glazes. So they are quite transparent, not on white, but onto other colors. You will still see what's in the background, but you can definitely see it gives a different color. So it gives an intensity to your page. And that is what I like to use them for. I actually use it over my paper elements. For example, if I want this dress to be brighter, I can go over with my neons on top of that. It's just wonderful glazes on top of your colors, just to intensify those colors. So we've got that. So now I'm going to put a bit of that Smurf, and I'm going to add that to that one, and I'm just going to move it around and whoops. So I'm going to put that down, then put my paints to the side before I ruin my page. You know what I'm like. And then I'm going to put this one over there, and I'm going to rub with my stencil. My glue has almost no smell. So it's my glue is, if someone wants to know about the glue of the smell, Abs just asked me the question. Sorry, I'm like, oh, glue has no smell. People are thinking, why are you saying that? Like randomly. Can you see? Yeah, you think I'm sniffing my glue. Here on the background. I already told Abs I'll just have like a gin tonic on the side with a straw while doing my life. So you can see this is already much more interesting than just having that page that you stamped on at first. Although you did stenciling and everything, this makes it more light and a dark and a focal point. So it immediately creates more interest in your page. So what I like to do now is I'm going to put this one not totally to the side, but I'm not going to work as much with the paint, but I'll just put this one totally to the side. Let me do this, it's easier. And I'll just put some of my paint pen down, and I'm going to grab a smaller brush. This is a sample brush, so these ones I don't have yet, but it's a sample. So I'm going to just put some of that paint pens down and So I'm going to put some shading around there, and I'm going to be dramatic about it, and I'm not going to put a line around her. I don't like putting a black line. I'm more about having like a shading, like everything goes woof, pulls you into there. So let's get you into that color. Zhush. I could take a smaller brush, but I don't want to. That's just the way that I work. A bit more water, just a bit of water just to activate that color. And I just move the color around on this side. Abs, can you tell me, am I running out of time? I've got no idea how long I've been busy with. So if I I heard that Leonie takes longer, so I'm still okay. So you can see already, this makes a difference. So it gives you a focal point, it gives you the depth behind her, and then it has the light and the dark, and it has pattern and movement. Still needs a quote though, but we'll get to that. And the same thing we're going to do over here. We're going to move around that page, give it that oomph, give it that, get that girl to come back away from the background. Ab said someone wants to kidnap me. Well, I usually say that that's why I eat a lot of cake. Makes it much more difficult to kidnap me. Stay safe, eat cake, so you can't get kidnapped. Okay, Abs just told me that on the screen now you can actually see a couple of items, and those are the most popular items that's going to probably sell out within the next hour or whatever, or quite soon. So have a look at those. If there's anything you still wanted in that, add those to your little cart, and you know how to do that. You just comment with the shop sponges, for example, or shop sticky, and once you added that, that'll be put into a little cart for you in your private messages. You will get to see what it is. You haven't bought it yet, so it's in your cart. So you actually bundled everything together in there. Your discounts will go from there. Everything will be organized for you. They've got brilliant discounts. You also don't forget to share the live and to comment when, because that way you can also make a chance on that voucher for £20. So I think they have a lot of nice things for you guys. And of course, you've got that discount code as well if you want that 15% discount. And that is on top of the other bundle discount, whatever you have on there. So don't miss out on that. They are very, very generous, I feel. So, yeah. Abs, he had to really work on me to do this live. So he did a really nice welcome gift because it's my first live. So take that. I don't like that. That's very, very black there. I went over her arm, or there is a piece of black there. So I have to do something there. So let's see. I'm just going to move a bit of that. See. Just better. I don't know. It's not better, but maybe it feels better to me. I'll just give it a shake around. few dots with my markers. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll ask my husband if you can get me for free when you buy the whole bundle. You might be able to convince Jan, Abs. So I'm just making these little dots here. It just makes it look more fun, like confetti-like, and to just keep it in a whole scene that it fits together. I'm going to just add those on the other page too. And because your yellow and your purple are opposite one another, when you mix them wet and wet, which means when your paints are still wet, it is really awful because you get brown. But when you use them as contrasting colors on top of one another, and so here you will see the confetti little look of everything. So there we are. That makes a difference. Do you think we need to add a quote, guys? Of course, I will go later on and I will add probably something similar to this. I can do that later on. I'm not going to take up all of your time, just some of your time. But let's go in, and we could use a little turn towards the sunshine and the shadows will fall behind you. This can be really nice. Or bring your own joy wherever you go. I think that suits really well. So let's do a little stamp on one, and then we add the Quotelicious. You can see I've put mine. This is the Quotelicious inside one of these packs. It's 54 designs. So you get them all twice. So you get them all in black and you get them all in white. So it's 108 items in this one. So those are based on my normal ephemera. So create time just for you. And you can use it like this, but you can also cut them up like this if you want to. I like to make it more unique. I don't know why, but I always end up changing it. Time. And then just for you. So maybe something like that is cute. And then I'm going to do that little stamp, and I'm still going to stamp it. But I will have to do a bit of white just to give it a place to be able to, for you to see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that white and I'm going to just rub it in. And I know it looks weird now, but just work with me. Just wait. Otherwise you won't be able to see the quote on top of there. And that's not what I'm going for. So bring your own joy. So I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I heard that Ab said that you don't mind me being so, or taking so long. I'm sorry, I'm just not quick. Bring your own joy wherever you go. Can you see? So that white just kind of helps just for you to see the quote better. No, I can't beat a 4-hour live that Leonie did. I can't do that, Abs. No, impossible. So I'm going to move this around. So with my glue, you won't see residue anything once it dries. So you can move it around until you're happy with the way that it looks. So time to create. So I like that. So that is the one for that one, and that's move around to this side. And I actually like to put these birds in the background. Actually, don't you think? Sorry. I'm just going to quickly take these birds. Yeah. Sorry, I have to do that. It just feels that it needs it. So I'm going to move this one's. And then I'm going to take the one off. And I'm just going to take this one. Oh, I have to move it to the corner, otherwise I can't. Oops. Yeah, there we are. So they're just flying away into the sky. So I kind of like the way that that looks on there. So let's take the stamps to the side. And then we've got the Quotalicious quotes in here. So let's see what we're going to do. Sometimes what you're most afraid of doing is very thing you will set you free. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. I owe myself the biggest apology for putting up with shit. Ah, yeah, I like this one. With shit I do not deserve. So that's also a nice one. So let's do that one for today. Let's decide. I owe myself the biggest apology. Stop. So let's just do it in two. Yeah. I like it when it actually goes over into her at the top. And you can, of course, now put this on a 3D tape just to give it a bit more dimension. So there we are. There we are, that one. So, and of course, once again, don't let your quotes just float around. I kind of like it when we just give the quote a bit of base. So you can do it directly with the marker under there. But I kind of like to use my paintbrush and just a bit of that marker and then just add a bit of darkness under there. You can even put it down and then use a spray bottle of water and make it bleed down more if you want to. But I just like it when it has a bit of a what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just read a few more quotes for you just so you get an idea of what's in the quotes there, for those of you that asked. So I'm going to put this down. Let's grab this. Let's grab a few out of there. So congrats to you. I am always here. Beauty is not about a pretty face. It's about having a pretty mind, heart and soul. If it matters to you, it's important. Beauty is not, that's the black and white one of the two of them. Practice reckless optimism and kindness. Be a pop of color in a black and white world. She just needed to be alone with her art supplies. Your thoughts are colored by what you love. It's like your Instagram feed. Behind every craft there's a really big mess. I can promise you that's really true, because this is what you see, but you should see outside of there. Not every day may be good, but there is something good in every day. Find extraordinary joy in the ordinary things. You are ridiculously amazing. Even broken crayons color. Don't give up. Pick up your paintbrush and color the world. Don't worry about getting older. No, pick up your paintbrush and color the world. Don't worry. Yeah, and we also have round ones and square ones, like blah blah blah, happy day, stay curious. You can also make a little punch a little hole and hang it from something. We also have little small words. You can see these ones as well. Live, love, and laugh. Hooray. So there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different ones in there. But that's about it that I have for you today. So, yeah, this is the 2 pages. So I have to now listen to Abs what I need to do, because I have to now flip the screen, I believe, Abs. Oops. So flip the screen so you guys can see me again. Hi. And then I have to, before okay, so Ab's just talking to me in my ear if you're thinking why she have this weird face. But Abs just said to me, if you still want something, he's going to put a few updates on stock, I believe. So for yous that need to, the sticky glue, the shop sponges, the shop markers. Okay. So for these 3 items on the screen now, that is the sticky glue, the sponges, and the markers. If you want them, they're all actually in baskets at the moment, so there is nothing else left. So if you want it, you need to check it out now. So get those in your baskets and make sure. If you want the complete collection, and if you want the complete collection, you can use Shop April Complete. It's now $139.86 instead of $179.86. And you get another 15% on top of it when you use code Marlene15. And you can also stand a chance on that coupon, or the voucher that they're giving you, or stand a chance on that. So that is definitely something that he's going to do. So, yeah, and if you're in other parts of the world where Abs does not send, please make sure to contact your distributor to make sure that they can get it. But he'll try to send wherever you are, but he doesn't send everywhere because some countries is just not able to do that. But for you guys, if you can find it, you can see now the Shop April Complete. He just told me that actually is 75% gone. So there is a couple left. Okay. Apparently when I was demoing Abs, she told me someone asked to show, I have to show the pencil cases. I did show them in the very beginning, but I will show them just once again. This is the large pencil case. This is the really big buddy. So this one has got a nice zip. It's got a nice, lovely lilac, isn't it, Abs? Lovely lilac in a part of it. And I actually keep my ribbons and my extra sticky glues. You know, I need a stash because I'm really bad. So that is just fabulous. So that's the big one. And of course, we've got the teeny one. And this one is the one with the butterflies and that more watercolory effect and the little scallops on the side, the pinstripe on the side. And then, of course, on the inside, it's got the nice yellow inner. And I've put all my pencils in there. I've got my Derwent Intense pencils. And so I've got a large case coming up in, let me see, in October. And that's, or no, I lie, in August. And it's a really large one. And it is actually, so it'll take all of your A4 journals in there, and you can put your A4 books in there, and it's really big and strong and sturdy. It's bigger than the previous craft case that I had, so that'll be wonderful to have as an extra. And it actually combines all of these designs, and it works really well together with all of them. So that's great. Okay, so before I'm going to tell you a bit about the bundles, but before I go to the 3 bundles that's on the page now, because you all asked what about the tags, so where do you get that from? I'm going to tell you about that, but I just want to ask you, please just comment when and share the live, because that way you can make the stand a chance for the coupon or the voucher. And we're going to announce the winner of that soon. So I just want you to still make a chance on that to get that one. But in any case, if you want to know the bundles, Abs just put the bundles on there. And those 4 are the bundles that you actually also get the pack of free of the tags. And they are pre-printed tags with my designs on. So you can just add your paints and your things on there. You can stencil over it. You can use your sponge over that and use it as a background if you want to, and have that line work. It just is a backing. So that's a wonderful gift to have. They were really popular. So just if you want them, those are on the screen now, definitely. So I want to thank all of you in any case for all of you to join me for my first live with AALL Create, and hopefully we can do this another time with a later release. Maybe you can convince me one more time to do this. In any case, I'm much better than Tally, because I'm always too scared to do that. They've been asking me for years, and for years I've been saying, no, I'm not going to do that. But so definitely, I'm going to show you my pages so you can see what it looks like, so you can get an idea. So that is the one page, and that is the second little page. So that is how we do it, and hope you enjoy that. So Abs, are we ready to do that code already? So will I do a countdown? 3, 2, and 1. Oh, the names on the screen. So who's going to be the winner, Abs? Stephanie Hudson. Congratulations. Stephanie, congrats. You actually won the voucher. £20 voucher you've won just by saying when and sharing the page. How cool is that? Wonderful. Thanks in any case for the AALL Create team that invited me, and for all of their hard work selling my products in the UK. And I want to thanks as a good friend of mine for taking me step by step today through working this weird system of yours and speaking in my ear. So thanks, guys. It was really amazing to have you join us. Thank you very much. Okay, if you have missed any codes, there is a recap on the codes now on the screen. And I think that the live will stay on here for, I believe, 48 hours or something. And the discount counts as well for another 48 hours or something. 24, I don't know. Till Friday night, the code will stay. So, guys, thank you so much for making a wonderful day for me by joining me and taking the time to watch. Thank you very much. Bye.